This is Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for the 2024 Aries full moon. The full moon takes place on October 17th, 2024 at 4:26 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7:26 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 11:26 a.m. Universal Time at 24 degrees Aries, 35 minutes, 24 degrees Libra, 35 minutes. The skies have been nudging all of us towards self-determination since the Aries-Libra eclipses began in March 2023. Now comes a long, hard look at how we've done with that. Emphasis on both long and hard. The Aries full moon is escalating issues of autonomy, assertiveness, and aggression. It packs a huge punch, detonating another round of booster rockets that will drop away and shoot us onward. Eventually. It revs us up, whips up boldness, daring, and anger, poises us to blast a lot away, and then immobilizes us. When the release comes, what a catharsis that will bring, not to mention relief. And you will be motivated as well as empowered to pull off dramatic actions. But until then, boy, do we get to wallow in the discomfort. Some of that discomfort has to do with our relationship to autonomy. Do we feel we can take charge, or do we feel powerless or bullied? Some has to do with anger and aggression. Were we conditioned to be deferential or dissuaded from expressing anger or acting assertively? Have we been hindered in putting ourselves out in the world? If a person sits on frustration and anger long enough, they can erupt with a force that outweighs the situation. These issues are connected not just to the sign of Aries, but also to Chiron in Aries, which is conjunct the moon. Chiron embodies an abiding wound, an Achilles heel, and the challenge of mastering the physicality of existence. Chiron's time in Aries has filled the news with issues of bullying, abuses of power, and toxic masculinity. This full moon adds to them the impact on the feminine and on women. Interestingly, the roles of the masculine and the feminine are reversed in this lineup. The sun, representing the masculine, and the logical end of the full moon is in Venus-ruled Libra, which is inherently oriented toward relationships and taking the existence of others into account. The moon, representing the feminine and the emotional, is in Mars-ruled Aries, which is self-starting and assertive to the max. With Chiron next to the moon, this lineup is a formula for angry, energized, motivated women. On the warpath, you might say. The full moon marks a turning point and release point for Chironic issues, but after we sit with them for a good long while, which will stoke our fire and determination. The sitting with them part comes from a grand cross formed by the moon conjunct Chiron and opposite the sun, each end squared by Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn. The grand cross has the immobilizing effect of pulling us in multiple directions at once. It suspends us in, and if we take the higher view, over the mounting dramas and emotions. Think the Hanged Man in the Tarot. From either perspective, we're not yet in the position to do much of anything except experience and observe. The moon will move out of this tension within a day or so. We will likely still be feeling it and still somewhat immobile until the sun clears the square to Pluto and enters Scorpio on October 22nd, which is 5 days after the full moon. The Libra sun's ruler is also spotlighting the role of women. Venus is in Scorpio, sextile Pluto, now direct and in its final weeks at the exit door from Capricorn. With both bodies at 29 degrees, their link stirs deep and extreme issues of power, desire, sex, and money. It's no stretch to see the sextile directing the full moon's fury onto women's deaths and threats to their survival. Your own intense desires and fears are in the mix, and the waiting period could be enormously potent for you. Boldness and daring and gumption are building, and what you do when this breaks may surprise you. Look at the extended process of this moon as gorging on Popeye's spinach, or mainlining Red Bull, or stoking courage like a storm building strength in the Gulf of Mexico. You'll know when it's time to act, and boy, will you. Boy, will we all. I'm Kathy Beal, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. Visit my site, empowermentunlimited.net, to sign up for my mailing list, listen to my weekly forecasts, and book a session with me. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Beal, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host lively conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group The Astro Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at @KABeal and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel.